Hello guys and welcome back to Air Tycoon 5 World Domination. Yeah, in this episode, we're going to be discussing some new strategies I might be foretaking pretty soon. And the reason for that is, looking at my profit, it's pretty good. Wait, this is not the profit tab, this is the profit tab. Over a billion and not the best tick is obviously a pretty good place to be. But this will eventually fall below a billion and the slightly worse turns. But yeah, in general, we're doing pretty good. Decent profits across the board. All that shit just barely keeping up with, growth, the growth targets I've set. As you guys can see, our company value graph is basically almost exponential, minus, a few wiggles and niggles here and there due to, me focusing on getting slots. Um, Yeah, so what I was thinking is last episode, I ended off the episode by mentioning there's no way I could possibly get all the airplanes and airports. And then I thought, why can't I? Um, very soon, all the hubs are going to be full. Um, Not yet. All the hubs are not full yet, but very soon all of them will be. In not a long time from now, I estimate that the vast majority of the hubs where, you know, the airlines are currently based will be full, and in which case, there's no reason for me to be rushing to make routes. Um, Instead, why don't I rush to buy airports? So, taking a look at what we have now is um, we have to still hub off of Barcelona. Uh, I believe Atlanta I have not taken yet. Athens I've taken. Charlotte I have not taken yet. Shanghai I even haven't taken yet. Kuala Lumpur and San Francisco as kind of the remaining hurdles, as you guys can see. Moscow, red. This red. Barcelona is now red, upgrading the airport. Athens should be red, but I think there's recently been 25 slots dropped, so let's find a route to just occupy those 25 slots. Let's go ahead and do that. Very nice. So now we can go ahead and request some more, and we need another route. Let's see if we can find one that's not taken. Not too bad of a route, but not too great either. Bratislava. Bratislava, I don't know. Okay, not gonna try. Not gonna try. Boom, and then we can go ahead and make sure Athens has no more slots as well. So basically, in Europe, I just have Barcelona left. I don't really care about the rest of the hubs there. In North America, we have Atlanta and Charlotte and San Francisco. San Francisco and Charlotte still being a long ways off being slot capped. Basically, I don't want to concern myself with capping the slots in the airport until it reaches about the level of Shanghai, where it's above 3,000. It's on its last upgrade stage. The reason for that is because that was a mistake I did last time, is focusing on getting the slots too early. And yeah, when you do it too early, you sacrifice too much profit. So I just want to double check with you guys. That's Hong Kong. So it's just Shanghai left in Asia, which is not completely full. All right, that seems to be the case. In Europe, I think it's just Barcelona, which right now is upgrading, so we don't have to worry about it. And Moscow, very nice. New York is full. Chicago is full. Atlanta is full. Houston should be full. There we go. Dallas has no airline. Los Angeles is basically full. San Francisco is full. And I believe that is literally all the hubs. And Sydney, but Sydney's like, it's not even close to being close to full. So we might as well start investing a little bit in Sydney so that it eventually does finish, hopefully. But yeah, basically what that means is I think I'm gonna put in an order for about 30 Tu-134s, meaning if any of the cities do open up, basically I will have the planes to immediately take all the slots I need, and then once that happens, I'm gonna focus basically solely on buying airports. I feel like airports are gonna have one of the fastest returns from here on out. So yeah, basically that's the plan. And just in case, guys, just in case this doesn't go exactly to plan, I'm going to make a duplicate save. So I'm going to duplicate this save in this slot and in this slot. So we have two duplicate saves at this very point, 1980.10. And we can kind of see if it goes too badly, I can always revert to this point. So yeah, I don't care about rewriting the other world anymore. I really don't really care about that world in general. I also want to invest more, but too expensive for now. So yeah, now we're just gonna pass turns basically. We're just gonna fill up the fuel tank, and pass the turns. And I forgot to reset the prices of those Tupolevs, so let's go ahead and take a look at what happened with those routes. Let's sort by load factor, because yeah, I'm guessing they're all pinned to the bottom of the load factor charts. The routes I just opened, let's search all routes. Yeah, as you guys can see, I'm pretty sure the routes I just made are literally pinned to the very bottom, thanks to their pricing, their default pricing. So I'm gonna say if the load factor is below this based on default fare, we're just gonna set the prices to 1.15. I'm pretty sure no other routes are in that category. Yeah, very nice, very nice. All right, so with that in mind, and with a ton of 747s and 320Bs actually just arrived, so I'm gonna go ahead and schedule those. But from now on, I'm not gonna really be planning on ordering many new planes other than Tupolevs to fill slots. The rest is gonna be just directed to, yeah, it's literally just gonna be directed into airports, and I'm gonna see how that goes. But I will schedule these planes with you guys because why not? So I'm gonna do something like this. Perfect. It even auto priced itself to a price I would have probably selected manually. And here's the challenge basically is I have a ton of new hubs. For example, Shanghai. We're gonna open this now. We need to fill up the slots in Shanghai. And there's a tons of nice routes which we have not taken, like this. And that is why we have so many 747s, is right now my plan is to try and take as many of these routes as possible. With these 10 747s I have ordered, I might put in more orders for 747s because they're really cheap. And yet that sounds weird, 747s are really cheap, but yes, they really are. They only cost 50,000 per, thanks to being leased. And yeah. Unfortunately, also, it looks like we're unable to reach Chicago with a 747-100, so we're using Toronto instead, but Toronto's still a pretty decent city. Kind of underrated at a very consistent 700 business and tour combined. Yeah, there's no worries about Toronto being too small of a city, though I will use Atlanta whenever possible. But apparently this is not one of those times. Yeah, so let's go ahead and schedule this. I'm gonna sort out all the pricing, guys. Don't worry too much. And then where else? Where else? Let's see. Tripoli. Yeah. So as you guys can see, there's tons and tons of nice routes available right now. I don't know what I'm gonna use for stopovers after this. I mean, the choices are Denver and Dallas, and both are not the best. So we'll see. But I think the routes, there's definitely still going to be plenty which are going to be worth taking with a 747. So we'll see what we do about those. Like these routes, for example, just unfortunately out of range. So instead, we're going to be working with routes like Luxembourg, for example. Basically, the cities which are solidly 400 when you combine the business and tour. That's the ones I'm going to be looking for now. We're going to need more slots in both Luxembourg and Toronto. Go ahead and sort that out. Very nice. All right, so that's about it for Shanghai. There's plenty more cities where this came from. So the next is Guangzhou. Guangzhou also does not have its routes like to Napoli and stuff taken. So yeah, I think the next biggest city in North America is San Francisco. So we're gonna use San Francisco when possible, but it's also quite far away. So like Charlotte would also work if there's no route already to there, but unfortunately there is. So I'm gonna have to do something like Guangzhou, which of course is really nice, to Napoli, and then to somewhere less good like Dallas, unfortunately. But so be it, like, it's not a big deal. There we go. And yeah, basically this is what I'm going to be doing. Like, even Singapore, I don't think I have a hub here yet, but like, it has routes which can be taken. You see what I mean? But I just don't have a headquarters in Singapore quite yet. Am I even investing in Singapore? Hold up. Oh my god, I have forgotten. That's really not good. Looks like I'm not going to be getting very many slots in Singapore. But that's also not too big of a concern because I can take a lot of them going the other way around the Earth. Um, this is what I mean. Like, for example, Atlanta to Alexandria. Atlanta, I think I can open a hub. So yeah, for example, like this, and then I can connect that to Singapore this way. So I can take a lot of the routes to Singapore like that, basically. I just opened a hub in Atlanta without meaning to, but you kind of get the point. I'm not too concerned about Singapore, but it's also just a bit of a shame that I actually did not notice I was not investing in Singapore until now. Um, yeah, basically, yeah, I meant to be investing in Singapore by this time, but I think I didn't notice I wasn't. Let me check Kuala Lumpur as well. See, I remembered Kuala Lumpur, which is a far inferior city to Singapore. So, unfortunately, yeah, I'm gonna have to be creative to actually end up getting any of the slots there. Uh, and wow, that's still in range. So that's very nice. That's probably the last route I can make to Tripoli. Because I think Dallas and some other guys will be out of range. So yeah, basically you guys can see the idea. Like, a lot of these nice European cities, mid-sized European cities, are still untaken to decent-sized North American cities, um, such as Toronto, Denver, Dallas, maybe even Charlotte. But Charlotte's pretty close to Europe, so I suspect most of them will be taken. Um, so yeah, basically the plan is now to just use the rest of these 707s, of which I have a ton of. I might even do that off camera, but all I'm gonna do is, when I see some potential demand, but only for planes which are inexpensive, aka like 747-100s, is I will put in an order for these as so, and then save the rest of the cash for airports. So we should be able to afford an airport quite soon at our current profit levels. So yeah, I'll finish off these other aircraft and I'll be right back. Alright guys, as you guys can see, I am done using all those long range planes, so it is time for a pricing. So everything on 0% load factor, which is of course only the new routes, everything else will have definitely more than 0. We'll set the fare to 1.3, there we go. And then next thing we have to do is just take slots with our remaining TU 134s. So here is, what's the city called? Shanghai. So I'm going to take it to literally all the nearby cities with these 134s, and then I'll be right back. And boom, all of a sudden all the slots in Shanghai are gone, and they are all mine. So I think that's major Asian cities done, with the exception of Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, which are going to be works in progress for quite a while. Rome is done, so the last major hurdle in Europe is Barcelona, so let's go ahead and take care of that. Or we can take care of, no, Atlanta's not not got the slots right now, so it looks like we should take care of Barcelona. So Barcelona is an interesting boat because there's tons of great routes available. For example, I think this is a 707, yep, going to be replaced with a 747 very soon. Yeah, there's tons of routes just like this, where it's extremely easy to fill up a 747. So I'm gonna be, using 747s to fill that up. But I will also, in the meantime, be filling the rest of the city up just with smaller aircraft, Tupolevs and such. But I like doing a lot of things at once, so I'm not gonna bother doing this turn. I'll do it in a couple more. So let me just make sure actually I have enough Tupolevs for the future. So yeah, I want to save up for an airport, but it's really difficult with the amount of things we're trying to cover, getting slots for all the airports. So hopefully we'll be able to cover this soon. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to afford an airport soon. Please stay above 1 billion. That'd be sweet. Nope, we do not. Minus 202,000. So yeah, unfortunately they're a little bit of an issue with staying profitable. Oh well. Um, downticks be downticks. They do what they do. Let's hope that didn't happen because I messed up some pricings. But no, everything appears to be fine. Wait, does everything appear to be fine? Let's sort by load factor. And yeah, there's not, like, this place isn't flooded with empty 134s or something like that. But look at the amount of new routes we have too coming up. So, there's a ton of acceleration going on in terms of routes. And now we have 35 Tupolev. So I'm going to go ahead and do Barcelona slots and just take basically everything I can get. And then I'll be right back. And just like that, guys, Barcelona, it has no more slots left. And we can go ahead and set the prices to 1.15. Of course, there's no business class, so I don't actually need to change it, I just realized. So, there we go. Perfect indeed. So, what next? There's tons of 134s coming, some 747-100s. And what bases do I have coming in? And to answer that question, it's literally just Atlanta. Charlotte is still a while before I'm going to want to build a base. So is San Francisco. It's still a while before I'm going to feel the need to start basing in San Francisco, just thanks to the excess in terms of size and such like that. So yeah, with that in mind, basically, I believe I can start saving for an airport. Let me just make sure this guy hasn't bought one yet, because he's been on the same amount of aircraft for a long amount of time. I cannot imagine what else he is doing besides saving up for an airport, which at the moment he doesn't have yet, from what I can tell. Airport profit 0. There we go. So yeah. Anyways, I think I'm really in the clear now. I mean, Kuala Lumpur, it's still at 2,500, still way shy of 3,000. And then everything else is kind of locked in at full. So yeah, I really don't think I missed anything. If I did, that's a big shame because I'm not gonna really get slots there in forever. Basically until the first economic crisis. So yeah, with that in mind, I think I'm ready to really start literally just saving cash. So I'll have tons of Tupolevs in case any airport I do need to take comes up. Oh, wait, Atlanta. I need to do Atlanta next turn. Okay, so yeah, but we don't need to order any new aircraft is the main point. Basically, besides an occasional batch of 747-100s, which I think there's definitely at least this many more demand for, I think I can just pass turns. So go ahead and pass this turn. This should be an uptick. Very nice indeed. I don't know why didn't my income go up that much? I guess the 0.1 quote unquote uptick is not the best uptick. Not as good as the summer months. Let's see. 1.1 million. Yeah, it's decent. Yeah, it's decent, but I'm not really sure why that it's not higher. I guess my branch expenses and stuff are going up with the number of hubs I have. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and schedule these 747s on camera because I think it's a lot more interesting to find 747 routes than it is to find like the normal Tupolev or like what is it, DC or 707 routes I usually am making. I mean, those routes are good routes, but like just incredibly, I would say, uninteresting to make, in the sense that everyone knows that they're not very good in terms of like, they're not very interesting routes, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, these routes, on the other hand, are extremely interesting and are just generally good routes, which I do not have yet. So yeah, it's very nice to be taking these. I don't really know what to be using as this side of the stopover. I guess Bangkok. Yep, that's perfectly in range. Wow, we're really playing with fine margins here. And then like routes like Phoenix, I don't even know if I should be using a 747. Is this a 7? See, that's a 707. That's a 747. And you know, it's locked at full, so this is probably fine. And then like the best city I can find on this side is probably honestly Cape Town, so we can go ahead and make that route. And then we're going to already have to start canceling some of our Tupolev routes to make room. That's fine. Look at that first turn profit of beautiful minus, what was that? I didn't see minus 300k. Yeah, new Tupolev routes, even on upticks, don't seem to be it. Yeah, Tupolevs are no longer very profitable. So, Shenzhen, out of range, Chengdu. Yeah, Chengdu is probably what we're gonna have to use. It's quite big now, Chengdu. It's like nearly as big as some like cities which I recognize as marquee cities, because basically a lot of the cities that are very good in this game are ones I realized were really good back all the way in Air Tycoon 1, basically. And it looks like Shanghai's out of range. Alright, so too bad. That's just gonna be a Tupolev route for ever, I guess. Or not a Tupolev, but a DC small aircraft for a long time until I have, a proper amount of time to fix that. But yeah, as you guys can see, it's really difficult to find a actual stopover destination. Like I'm not sure if a city like Wuhan's worth it. You know what I mean? I think Qingdao was probably worth it, but it's also not a proper stopover route. But yeah, whatever. The other side of the route is definitely good. So I don't think I have Mexico City to Barca yet. Yep, Mexico City to Barca, and then yeah, all the mid-continent like mid-Asian continent things are already taken. I'm guessing thanks to range. Meanwhile, a lot of other ones are just left open. So yeah, that's kind of an interesting property of the way the AIs play, is for some reason they don't really look at range routes very much. I cannot tell you why, but that's what they do. I also noticed Moscow to Phoenix was not taken. I think we can take Moscow to Phoenix. Yeah, I think this is good. And then we just need a destination on this side, like Cebu. That's perfect. Moscow's really far north, so it seems to have a really it seems to be close to everything, which is kind of interesting. Um, that's probably it for European cities. And the rest of the stopovers I want to make are probably in this layout. Uh, yeah, something like this, like Munich, Toronto, and well, we need more slots in Munich. Looks like. Yeah, this is a great route, by the way. Fantastic. Yeah, I think there's plenty of these kind of routes left. Just kind of hidden since I have all the Asian hubs now. I just have to find them. Like Pescara is pretty good as well. So Shanghai, Pescara, and then, well, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to use a Dallas because yeah, San Francisco is quote unquote not a proper stopover route. So yeah, what else do we have? Ooh, a little bit of burp. Still burping. What the frick? Excuse me. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Looks like I have Milano and Venice, Luxembourg, Dusseldorf, a lot of the kind of better known ones. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do Birmingham yet. I don't think it's quite big enough for me to want to do it. So instead, I'll look at other Asian cities. Yeah, I think there's plenty of Asian cities like Seoul, for example, where I have not taken a lot of these marquee routes, which could be flown with a 747. This is a problem of a lot of the best cities being taken, but I think I'm just going to compete on my main hubs. Yeah, I mean, look at that route. I mean, a single illusion is not really a problem for me. And then I can simply go ahead here and set the coverage to 0 based on default fare. Set the price to 1.3. I think that's very good. Yeah. And then basically all I need to do is fill up my fuel tank. Just make sure all the hubs are not overcrowding, because overcrowded hubs, of course, affect the overall load factors and stuff much more than just an overcrowded individual base, because, there's a lot more routes coming out of them. So let's go ahead and make sure all of these are in a decent condition. Yeah, see, no more overcrowded hubs. And then, yeah, basically I can put in an order for the planes I want, as long as I don't spend too much. So I'm actually saving up for a airport. And very nice. Yeah, I think that's all I have to do, and I can pass the turn. But first, I'm going to make another save. I'll keep the top save as a backup, and then I'll occasionally update this save so I don't have to roll back the whole way in case I do want to roll back, but not the entire way. So yeah, perfect. Now we can go ahead and pass the turn. And boom. And all right. So you know what? See, our profit's holding around 1 billion, even on imperfect ticks, which is pretty nice. Definitely just miles better than the first game. Singapore slots is really bothering me. I don't know how did I mess that up. I was not investing in Singapore, which is one of the best cities in this game. So like, look at all these routes, which are, like, I haven't taken them because of range and stuff, but they're such good routes. Yeah, I'll definitely make sure I take them before the slots in Singapore are full. As you guys can see, I have 200 slots in Singapore already, despite not even having a base there. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the remainder of these 747s once again. Maybe I'll focus on Seoul. And Pescara didn't have any good landings, but I could once again compete. And yeah, an IL-62, I'm not worried about that. Let's go ahead and compete with that. I really wish that the airlines that the computer generated, their names were actually indicative of where they are, because it's not like that, and it's kind of super annoying. It's like, wow, that's a really good route that's untaken at this point. And that's another really good route, which is untaken at this point. Jeez. Which is the biggest here? Boston? Yeah, Boston. Yeah, I'm really surprised that a lot of the AIs just don't take great routes. I cannot tell you why, but they don't, so. Yeah, and I also cannot tell you why that the game makers didn't make it so that, for example, Algiers Air might not be based in Algeria, but be based in freaking China. And then fucking Korea Airways might be based in freaking Los Angeles or something like that. It's super annoying. Because like, oh, it's a freaking Korean Airways. Let's go look at Korea, and then you just see some other completely random company there, and it's like, oh wait, what's going on here? So yeah, I really wish that was not a problem in this game, but you know what? Oh, small issue. Also, I'm just gonna compete with this as well. I mean, yeah, like I don't think that their competition means very much on a route this scale. Um, and plus, I want to assert dominance over my main hubs, so yeah, I think this is probably worth it. Um, yeah, 747 satisfaction versus those shitty planes should be no problem. But then when they upgrade their planes, that's gonna be a problem. When they do upgrade their planes, hopefully I'll have enough money. Hopefully I'll have enough money to be upgrading to great planes of my own, basically. So yeah, I don't know if that'll be the case, but 747-400s will be a fantastic upgrade in the future. I just hope I'll be able to afford them. Yeah, if it's literally only one plane like that, there's no reason why I shouldn't compete. Especially on like an IL-62 sized aircraft. It's basically free. So we can go ahead and close some of these routes, which are just barely making no money / basically losing money. Yeah, those slot holders, they do a decent job of doing their job, but it's time to be replacing some of those. Yeah, go ahead and just making all these 747 routes. Yeah, this is very nice indeed. Let's see if there's anything remaining. Dusseldorf, I think it'll be a while before I decide to do Liverpool and Manchester. Maybe Manchester soon because Manchester's getting pretty big. And then Copenhagen, St. Petersburg, and a lot of the other nice looking cities I see are already taken. Munich is not taken, so that is definitely worth it. And yeah, even despite 2 layers of competition or like 2 aircraft of competition, those tiny aircraft got nothing on my 747. And I think I'll just do Dusseldorf and then Dusseldorf to New York. And yeah, like a single DC-8, I'm not worried. Also, the AI seem to be going to 80 name value. What name value am I going to? I think mine are probably going to end up around 80 as well. I'm not sure if I should go higher. Maybe I should go to 100, but it's kind of expensive. So, we'll see. I'm happy with 70 or like 80 or whatever it's ending up now, but we'll see if it's worth changing that to 100 to compete with them better. But the difference between 100 and 80 does not seem to be very large, so I'm not sure if I will. Let's see. Anything in range? Well, Manchester's in range, and let's just see what options we have on this side. And yeah, there's no great options on this side, so I'm not going to bother with that route. And Beijing. I think I'm going to compete with this, like a lot of these routes now, because I don't see why not. I mean, this side of the route seems much more brutal. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is a good idea, doing Madrid to Chicago. Yeah, I'm not really sure if that's kind of worth it. So maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do Madrid to Beijing to Sydney, something like that. Yeah, that's a much better idea. Both sides have really weak competition, so perfect. And then we just go ahead and set these prices to 1.3. Very nice indeed. And then we can go ahead and kind of pass the turn. So, I mean, I don't think I'm going to be able to find 10 additional new 747 routes, so I'll let that be kind of my last batch of them coming in. None of the hubs are overflowing. Yeah, we can go ahead and pass the turn. And, ooh, that's a pretty nasty drop in profit. Oh, and we're getting our economic crisis. That's a pretty bad first take of economic crisis to minus 269. I don't think you rarely ever see bigger single turn drops than that. Did I have a save last turn? I think I did. I literally perfectly had a save last turn. And let me tell you why that's freaking fantastic. Because I literally had a save last turn, where is it? Yeah, I think this save was literally from last turn. Yeah, the 0.1. Yeah, there's a few routes I'd have to remake, but who cares? That is a freaking fantastic thing because now I can go back and should I rewrite this old save? Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, there's no reason why I really want it anyway, so just have an extra save point for this game. But yeah, like this is okay. I need to collect my thoughts because I've repeated like many things a lot of times whilst making very little sense. Okay, this is a blessing and a curse because my plan for this game world was once the economic crisis strikes, my plan was to use that as an opportunity to recoup a lot of slots. And the thing is, the reason is I was thinking that is because the economic crisis for me happened in 1987 in the other world. There's a little bit of a random timer on it, and I kind of forgot that there was a little random timer on it, so I didn't really expect that this early into the game I would need to basically start competing for more slots. I was planning on having this period as a growth period to collect money, to collect airports, all that kind of stuff. Now I'm gonna immediately, potentially, need to continue this like intense slot collection, which of course is less profitable than a lot of other things. Um, and then after this, additionally, there's gonna be no reason for the AIs to empty out. There's gonna be no reason for them to empty slots until like the 2017-ish economic crisis. So yeah, this is a really unfortunate timing because basically now I realized I'm screwed on slots. I don't know if I can go back to an earlier save and pass turns and then not have the economic crisis happen at this time. That's also something I do not know. I don't know if the economic crisis is a predetermined event at the beginning of the world or on a random turn it just begins. Uh, so yeah, I think one thing I can do is I can actually go back to that save I made 2 turns ago, past 2 turns, and if no economic crisis, we know it's a randomized event, and if it happens again exactly on this turn, then I'll know it's already predetermined. Oh shoot, I have no slots in Guangzhou, of course. I was like so confused why that wasn't working, but that's also what you get for trying to talk and think and commentate and play at the same time. Is sometimes you don't realize really obvious things happening in game because you're just paying attention to something else. So perfect. Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna save into this slot. Perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna load. Okay, I need to be very careful here because I could cause a lot of damage by doing shit in the wrong order here. I'm gonna load into this world. Load, okay, load. Yep. Alright, we've loaded in, and the game is very unhappy with me, so I'll fix this and be right back. Alright, loading back into the game. Hopefully this has fixed the issue. We can go ahead and load back into this world before the economic crisis starts. Yep. And then, okay, I'm just going to do nothing and see what happens if the economic crisis starts or does not start. So let's just go ahead and pass some turns. All right. No economic crisis yet. Is there an economic crisis now? There does not appear to be an economic crisis. And why is my profit so low? Wow. Guys. There's no economic crisis. Oh, I know I'm a profit so low, but very interesting. So today I discovered that the economic crisis is a randomly scripted event, basically. Yeah, we're way past the date which the economic crisis happened at, and nothing. Except for the fact that my profit is disturbingly low. Why is it so low? Okay, that I do not know, but it's not a big deal. I'll be able to figure it out in the actual game. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Do I want the economic crisis when it was in the last game? Definitely not. So I'm going to try and load a different world. Make sure this is on load. Yeah, I don't have a save from the exact tick I want. So yeah, let's load into this game world, which is, I think, at the perfect point, which is the least work lost. And I'm going to continue from this point and hope I don't get the economic crisis. So yeah, I think that's weird because a bit of my work was undone. That's fine. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.